Hello everybody and welcome back to round 13 of TTL here at the Temple of Speed in Monza. My name is Kieran McGinley and I'll be taking you through this round of the TTL Championship. Now, if you're wondering where I've been all this time or where the videos have been all this time, that's a very good question. Half of it's been my fault, half of it's been my health. Basically, I lost my voice quite a while ago for a long while, and it meant that I couldn't properly do any commentary, which is a shame. But hopefully now we are back, and hopefully we're going to see a really good race as well. So we start this episode by going through the driver standings as of round 12. So you see there Crazy with 185 points, Traw with 124, Darren Sinclair drops down to third place with 118, Spike in fourth with 106, Coyle with 86, tied with Raikkonen there on 86, Frank Dunk there in seventh with 76 point, Mays in eighth with 68, Steph in ninth, 3 points behind Mays with 65, the Gort there in 10th with 42. On to the next page, we see Alex on 36 points, CG there in 12th, Sharky in 13th, 24 points, Alan K on 21, he's in 14th, Blaster in 15th on 18 points, Paisl's there for Ferrari with 15 points, then we have Sean in 17th with 13 points, Heemkarl down there in 18th in the McLaren, he has 13 points. George there in Haas has 11, and Nino has 8 points. And we go on to the third page, Geordie there in 21st, and Sheo, who will not be racing today, is in 22nd. We move on to the constructors table, and as you can see, Sauber are going away with it, with 90 points clear of Toro Rosso. Force India only 3 points behind Toro Rosso there in third place. Renault making a charge now, they're on 142, alongside Mercedes, who suffered a double retirement last race, and they now fall behind Renault, they're on 137. Red Bull there with 104 in 6th place. 7th place are Williams with 88 points, 8th McLaren with 78 points. We have Ferrari there with 37 points, and we have Haas at the bottom there on 23. Just to go through some of the penalties from the last race, there was an investigation into Alan Kay and Sheo for leaving an active session. That's their first reprimands. They both get a qualifying ban for their next race. Geordie for failing to serve the qualifying ban at Belgium. He'll now get 2 qualifying bans coming his way. There was also 5 penalty points awarded to Geordie for causing a minor collision. Now that will add up along the season, and if you accumulate too many points, you do start getting race bans. But other than that though, we have obviously we have qualifying bans in this race for Alan Kay, Geordie and Sheo. But Sheo is not competing tonight, so that will be for round 14 if he races in that round. So then, the 11 corners of the Monza track remains, the infield circuit remains basically unchanged, with a few chicanes here and there from the original design. You'll see there the first chicane at the first variante, primero variante de Rettifilio. Obviously the first set of chicanes going into turn 1, be careful of there, especially into lap 1. Then you go into Curva Grande, watch out for Alonso there, you need to give him all the space, you do need to give him all the space when you're going through there. And don't forget the Lesmos, lovely 2 sweeping right-handers which then lead into the Ascari, lovely left, right, left, as then it sets you up nicely for Parabolica. So we are going to jump into qualifying straight after this edit. There may only be 11 drivers in this session, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a boring one. Normally when you have 20 cars heading into the first 2 chicanes there, it can be a little bit of a kerfuffle and a little bit of a car park. However, today we're looking at equal cars at one of the fastest tracks on the calendar. And with the engine of a Mercedes in every single one of these cars, you're going to be looking at a really, really fast race, that's for sure. So let's have a look at the first car there. That's a Red Bull heading out of there. Now Red Bull have been struggling this season, but they are starting to pick up their pace again, and hopefully we'll see them have a renewed hope, renewed form. But we will see now. That is Plaster, who is first out onto the track. And we will see him there. Apologies for that downloading content in the top left. I've done all I can to get rid of that, but you're just going to have to see that I'm just downloading content for some reason. Anyway, we are going to be on board here with Plaster as he goes on for his outlap, and we will put on all the details, which I just keep forgetting to do. It's a real pain for me, isn't it, just to actually get this set up right. And again, apologies for my voice. It might give out during this commentary. Again, sorry. I'll try and edit out all the coughs if I can. But yeah, 11 corners. You're looking at the fastest effort. The race lap record, just out of interest, is a 1:21.046, set by Rubens Barrichello in 2004 in that unbelievably quick F2004. So obviously we're going to be looking at times quicker than that today, because it is qualifying. The cars have little to no fuel in them on the fastest possible tyres, so we are going to be seeing lap times quicker than that. But as Plaster here starts his first lap of the session, and because of Monza's unique fast lap times here, we are possibly looking at 3 attempts at a lap time here, so just be aware of that. And we should have a fine race on our hands here. So we are on board now with Plaster as he sets a 27.2 for his first sector. Plaster, who is currently 15th in the championship, he'll be hoping to put some more points on the board for Red Bull today, and especially as there's only 11 drivers on the track, this is a perfect time for those teams to actually to put some points on the board. Notice there's no Darren Sinclair today, which is a huge shame. He might be falling further down. Spike could be overtaking him in this race if he gets a good result today. There is no Traw either, who is second place in the championship, so Crazy could extend his lead by almost uncatchable distance. I've got to do some maths to see how far ahead he actually is, but here we are with Plaster as he rounds Parabolica, takes it in 5th gear, up to 7th, and now up to 8th. As he heads towards that start-finish line, what's the time going to be? 1:23.1. So that's the baseline here. We now will have a look on board with Crazy, who sets a 1:21.4. Let's have a look at Crazy. There he is, 1:21.4 for him. As obviously these cars, big lock up there as he takes the curb, rides it quite away. The Gort here will be looking for a good result as well, as he's 10th in that Force India in the Drivers' Championship. Himcar here coming through. Ascari on his lap. So easy to get Ascari wrong and to cut that right-hander. It's so easy to do, especially when you're pushing the car as hard as you can. But as Himcar rounds the final corner, he will come towards the start-finish line now, and he sets a 1:22.7. So 1.3 off the leader. As we're now going to ride on board with the Gort, who's now also heading towards Parabolica, as Raikkonen on the soft tyres sets a 1:22.2 on the soft tyres. Now that's an incredible time. That really is an incredible time. As the Gort now sets a 1:22.3, goes 3rd fastest. Tractor Man, who is new to this series so far, he becomes the 23rd driver to race in this series. We're almost getting to the actual F1 2017 levels of drivers in this championship. Your 23rd driver making his debut today is Tractor Man. He's rounding Parabolica now, and the number 66, good number choice there, nice and round. He goes 4th fastest, 1:22.5. So that's your first round of laps done. Still yet to set a time. There's Pazels, Steph, Spike, Maze and Coyle. They're all yet to set a lap time. Spike still in the pits, as is Maze. Let me have a check to see. Alan Kay and George Roberts, they're not in this session, but we've got Coyle there who's decided to put on the medium tyres. Now, I'm not sure if he's actually planning to go out on those medium tyres. I would have serious concerns. But could make qualifying interesting. Your leader so far is Crazy Legs. He leads by 0.8 of a second. They're not far behind Raikkonen there, but Raikkonen on those soft tyres puts in a great lap. There's a Red Bull there, and also there is someone coming in. Is that Paisley's going out for another lap? As Force India there pulls into the pit lane. That is of the Gort. He pulls into the pit lane, and he will be planning his next move. As we see Steph here on his outlap on the soft tyres. Now, it's interesting, it might be worth setting a lap on some tyres like these, because with only 11 drivers in the session, the top 10 have to start the race on the tyres they set their fastest lap on, which is maybe why Coyle might be looking to try and qualify on those medium tyres, if that's actually the case. Now, what that would do is if Coyle can actually get a fast lap time, if he can get it into the 123s even, early 123s, that might be a chance of getting top 10. And that means he'll start the race on those medium tyres, which will open up his strategy to no end. Meanwhile, we have Steph here, who is on the lap now. We will have a look at Spike as well, who's also out on track on his outlap. But Steph is actually on lap 26.8. So he is faster so far than Plaster, I do believe, into that DRS zone, out of the Lesmos. He does have traffic, but the Renault gets right out of the way. That's off Tractor Man. As we head now into Ascari, again, really, really easy to just get it wrong. It's all a little bit of oversteer there, but good. Well held as well from Steph as he comes towards Parabolica now. Fifth gear all the way around, wait for that perfect bite where the tyres have got the grip to actually hold onto the road, as he heads towards that start finish line now and goes P6 and backs off immediately, probably because he's all out of fuel. We're going to look now at Himcar. I'm not sure. No, Himcar's not on a lap, so we'll now go over to Spike, who's going to start his. And nope, Spike comes into the pits, so never mind then. Looks like maybe Spike had some sort of track limit. Let's have a look. Spike did have a exceeded track limits, and that means he does not get that lap time counted, and that's why he came straight into the pits. Tractor Man, by the way, has gone P2, so he's now only 0.3 behind Crazy Legs. So that's a really, really good lap time from Tractor Man on his debut, so that's really good. We do have yellow flags in Sector 1. Let me see if we can see who that was. We can't, but the Gort there is going to go for a flying lap. As we see Coyle there, who is on the medium tyre. So can he actually put it into the top 10? Because if he can, that means he'll start the race on them, and that is going to play wonders for his strategy. Let's have a look with Steph, as Steph now comes into the pits. So the Gort now on his flying lap. This one counts. As we now look, see if we can try and get on board with Crazy. He now starts his flying lap. And Paisley's as well. I'm not sure if, I think this is an outlap from Paisley's as he heads around. Mays is only looking for the one lap. So maybe he's going to go for a cumulative, there's the word, set of lap times, as Coyle goes 6th on those medium tyres. Well, that's a great lap time from him. If he can start that race on the medium tyre, that opens up his strategy so much. And we have the Gort here coming into Parabolica. Raikkonen has retired from the session. He feels he can do no more. The Gort here now coming down at the start to finish straight as Hinkar goes 5th. The Gort goes 3rd. He will have another chance if he's got the fuel, and he hasn't. He's backed off. So that's it for the Gort. I'll have a look now and see if we can find Crazy Legs. There he is, coming out of Ascari. And Plaster's now retired from the session, so we'll have a quick look. He's just retired because he has not bettered that lap time. He feels he's done enough. He's there in P7. Meanwhile, Crazy Legs, championship leader, heads towards the start-finish line. Can he improve? No, he can't. He goes 2/10 slower. But he's pushing on, so he does have fuel to do another lap. Now, who else is on a lap time? Hinkar rushes towards Parabolica. And he's only very slightly ahead of Coil there on those who's on those medium tyres. And I know I keep saying it, but that is a huge strategic display from Coil if he can get that right. Mays goes P4, and he will have another chance, maybe. Coil has retired from the session. Let's see if Mays... No, Mays doesn't push on. Hinkar does, though. So Hinkar pushes on for a lap. Paisl's there also on a lap. Spike, he is on a lap as well. So we'll keep you up to date on all of these when we can. Your pole sitter right now, though, Crazy Legs, who is still on a lap, still pushing on. As he is the first man. He will be the third man, sorry, to take the checkered flag. Oh, and Crazy Legs has got it majorly wrong. going into Ascari there, he's got it completely wrong and has hit the wall. And we're going to have a look at Spike UK now, who's weaving left and right on the straight. I'm not sure. I think it's a bit too late to warm up those tyres now, Spike, but he rounds that final corner and loses the back end, spins it, and is out of the session. He will start 11th, and that means Coil now will start on those medium tyres. Paisl's now rounds that final corner, and Parabolica now, he's just got to try and nail that lap. He could try and finish ahead of Steph here. Comes towards the line, does improve, but cannot go faster. And now Hinkar retires from the session, and that means that's that. So there's your grid for tomorrow. Crazy Legs starts on pole position in his first race. Tractor Man gets P2, the Gort in P3. May starts in 4th, Riken in 5th, Hinkar 6th. Coil on those medium tyres starts 7th, Plaster in 8th, Steph in 9th. Paisl's in 10th, and Spike UK did not set a time. He will start in 11th place. Well, it's set up for a fantastic race with strategy everywhere. Well, after this edit, we'll have the full race. Stay with us. Watch out going into Variante de Rettifilio. It's a corner that the first chicane, really, you're met with as you head into the first corner for the first lap. It will get congested. It will be tight. And if anything, it could be carnage. 11 drivers does not mean it's going to be a dull race. And of course, we've got a long way to go. So sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this formation lap. We'll take you through some of the championship leaders and ones to watch for this race. So here we go, on to the formation lap. And it's really important on this lap to warm the brakes up. Now, there's not a lot of places to do that, but if there's one place to do it, it's here. Well, Crazy Legs, as he runs wide on his formation lap, let's hope he doesn't do that into the first corner. Crazy Legs is your championship leader. He has a chance here to go to 210 points with a win today. And that means, if anything, he could be virtually uncatchable in this championship and make it back-to-back victories in the championship. Tractor Man is another one to watch. He may only be a rookie, but he's shown good pace, especially in that qualifying session. Keep an eye on him, though. He will be important when it comes to that start. He's running wide slightly on his formation laps, but that's always the case when you're slightly nervous. The Gort here could really do with a good result. He lies P10 in the championship, and they'll be hoping today is the day he can maybe get it onto the podium. Mays as well is leading this Mercedes charge. Last race Mercedes did not finish, so they'll be hoping to bounce back here, Mays, hopefully to good end. Raikkonen for the Red Bull in P6 in the championship, tied on points with Coyle. They'll be hoping today is their day to try and get some points on the board, and they'll be locked in a dead heat. Watch out for those two. As we look at Heimkarl, he's new to this championship, but he's certainly causing some storm. Watch out for him, and watch out for Coyle as well. He's on the medium tyres, and have a look out for Spike as well, also on those medium tyres. Watch out for those two. They'll try and make that strategy for them last. But as we head towards the grid now, let's have a really, really good race. Only 2 teams will be able to score double points today. That is Mercedes, and I believe, well, at least one team is Mercedes. That's all I've seen. But here we go now. And surely now it will be a fantastic race as we had 5 red lights. Lights out, away we go. And it looks like a good start from everybody. You can see the Ferrari there just edge out as Crazy Legs there gets to the inside to try and defend that line. Tractor Man's locked up. And look at that attack from Heimkarl. He's forced to force India off. That's the Gort. He forced him off the track there with that late move into turn 1. We'll have to have a look back at that after the race. But at the moment, it looks like everybody's got through with minimal damage. But the Gort there has a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Not sure there was a lot he could do about that. So he'll be appealing to the stewards after the race. Meanwhile, Mays has made a huge charge. He's up into 3rd place now as we see the Williams there of Steph having a look up the inside of Coyle. Not quite doing there. As we head round, Crazy Legs has already built up a huge lead over Tractor Man. Mays is in 3rd, the Gort in 4th, Raikkonen in 5th, Heimkarl 6th, Steph there in 7th, Coyle in 8th. That's Pazels in 9th. Spike's made a position up as we're now looking at the Ferrari of Pazels as he tries to have a look up the inside of the Mercedes. Doesn't, and will run wide through the second part. And the Mercedes there of Coyle has run wide. Now, I'm not sure if he was pushed off the track there or if he just ran wide. That'll be really hard to tell. As you can see already on lap 1, my voice is starting to give out. We're looking at a great race as we head in there. It was the Renault. There's 2 Renaults in this race, of course. So 2 Renaults and 2 Mercedes as the Renault of Spike has a look at Steph. And we see Coyle come into the pit lane. He's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that strategy with the medium tyres has gone as Mays there as we have a look. As Steph there locks up, getting past Pazels. Now Spike's going to have a look as well. Spike not given room at all and is pushed onto the gravel and drops down into P10. So a hectic start right now. Mays has made a huge charge as that's the Renault of Tractor Man. He's dropped a position from his start, but he'll be looking to try and get that position back. He's under huge pressure though from Raikkonen, the Gort and Heimkarl, who are all behind him in that train and that fight for 3rd place. Sorry. But you can see now, DRS not active yet, of course. We have to wait till the 3rd lap for that. As you see, that is Pazels there behind Raikkonen. That's the Gort behind Raikkonen. And you can see here, run wide there, Tractor Man. He might get a warning for that one. But that really compromises his exit. And really, he's going to have nothing to defend against Raikkonen here. And Raikkonen trying to go up the inside. Can he make it? Yes! Tractor Man runs wide. And that is a position there for Raikkonen. And you can see now the Gort is now feeling, the Tractor Man is feeling that pressure. So the Gort's going to try and pounce here. As they're running 3 wide and they're catching up to the Red Bull. And the Gort here is going to have a look down the inside of Raikkonen. Is he? Raikkonen's going to leave him the space. And it's so tight as they head through that first chicane. Meanwhile, Heimkarl's just at the back there, just waiting for that opportunity. This is the fight then for 3rd place as Raikkonen on those soft tyres heads up into 3rd place. And here at Italy, you're looking at a one-stop strategy. So Heimkarl's looking to try and... sorry, not Heimkarl. Raikkonen is looking for those super softs at the end of the race where he'll be quicker. Speaking of Raikkonen, there he is. He's in 3rd place at the moment as Tractor Man runs wide. And this might be easy pickings here for Heimkarl if he can just get that DRS done. And Heimkarl looking and looking. But here's the Gort then on the back of Raikkonen. The Gort here trying to look to take his podium position back, and he'll be hoping that he can make that move stick as we head into Parabolica once again. And these drivers are giving no quarter to each other. Crazy Legs set the fastest lap of the race, 1:24.7. And you can see here these four just starting to space out just slightly, but as you'll see, DRS is now open for the Gort and Raikkonen behind him. This then the battle for third place as Raikkonen hits that curb on the first part. The Gort hits the curb on the second part, and have a look at Tractor Man. He's going to have a try and see if he can take advantage of that curb hit from both of them. And have a look now as we head into the Valiante de Roggia. As now Tractor Man trying to go round the outside, locks up, realises there's not much point in doing that, and backs out of it. He and Carl then will be looking to try and take advantage of the pressure that Tractor Man's maybe feeling. But Tractor Man for this race, he's just got to make it to the end, score some points. Just make it to the end. It's always difficult to go up against these experienced guys who know how each other race. It's always difficult to go into something like that. But as you can see, Heimkarl looking very dangerous here towards Tractor Man. And it may only be a couple of races he's been in this season, but he's shown the pace he can. He's shown the pace he's capable of. Spike there, closing in on Steph on those medium tyres. And we did say that watch him from the back of the grid. He did crash out during qualifying. So we'll be looking to see how that goes for him during the race. Meanwhile, Tractor Man there in 5th place on the tail of the Gort. And well, he does lock up once again, and those tyres are just going to be screaming at him. The more you lock up, of course, the more tyre wear you have, and the more prone you are to getting a puncture late on into this stint. We are looking for a 50% race around about lap 16. You can get these super softs too. That's if you haven't qualified on those tyres. So we're looking at around 14, 15 before the pit window opens. So we are looking for that. For the soft tyres though, it's not worth asking me. Take 15 off of 27. That's probably that's when the window opens. So we're looking at about around lap 12. No, that's not right, is it? Forget I'm ever saying anything. Just don't bother. But we're having a look here at the battle here for 5th place now, as Heimkarl on the back of Tractor Man. And as you'll see, going into the slipstream now is Heimkarl. Can he do anything? It's frustrating sometimes, Monza. There's only really a couple of overtaking opportunities. The first turn. Oh, and Tractor Man's lost it. Tractor Man has lost the back end. He's into the wall, and has that caused any front wing damage? He's going to head into the pit lane now, and it's so easy on Parabolica to run wide onto that left-hand side, and if you try and put the power down there, you just lose that back end. The tyres spin up, and there's nowhere to go but the barrier. Very, very harsh, that as well. But in comes Tractor Man, change your front wing, and on go the soft tyres. So it looks like Tractor Man's going to have to stop again. But where is Coyle in all of this? Coyle's now coming past the start-finish straight, so Coyle's actually going to get ahead of Tractor Man. Because of the pit lane here, it takes so long to get up to speed. So that's a huge blow for Tractor Man, but it's not over yet, of course. We have a long way to go, as Spike has caught up to the back of Steph now on medium tyres. And Spike here looking to just make that one stop definitely work. Very conservative with his tyres today. Maybe he realises he wears them out too much. Didn't want to take any risks. Put on those medium tyres and is just going as long as he can into this race. Worth noting that virtual safety car and safety car have been turned off now. That was due to a huge debacle involving Darren Sinclair, where he dropped 2 positions under the safety car because the game was glitching out. So now there is no safety car, no virtual safety car. If a car crashes, that's it, we carry on. But oh, and that's the Williams there of Steph getting very, very tail happy as he exits Parabolica there, and Heimkarl is into the pits. So I wonder now if that's strategic, and it is. On go some soft tyres. So, sorry, super soft tyres. another set of super soft tyres for Heimkarl. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that is Coyle there, who has seemingly lost the back end coming out of Ascari, the final part of Ascari. And he has front wing damage. This probably will be the second time he visits the pits. So a miserable weekend so far for Coyle. He'll round that final corner. And that's not good news for him. Will he come into the pits? Yes, he will. And no, he crashes into the pit wall. He's had enough today. Well, there you have it. Crashed into that pit wall there. Has decided to take matters into his own hands and just retire from the race. Well, meanwhile, the Gort here is having closing down on Raikkonen here, and Spike just behind him as well. And yeah, that's a ghost car in the middle of the track. So some of the drivers are going to be a bit put off by that. They'll think it's an actual car, and that's why maybe it's not a good idea to do that. Spike UK, remarkably, has set the fastest lap of the race, as we see Raikkonen there take to the sleeping policeman there, gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Well, Mays here in second place. He's had a great start. Got himself out of trouble and just put his foot down, really. That sounds so simple, but we have a look at the fastest man out on track, which is Spike, on those medium tyres. So he's doing a fantastic job so far, and if he can keep closing the gap, maybe he might get some good strategy coming towards the end of the race. That might benefit him towards the end of the race. We'll have a look at some telemetry here with the Gort. We can see they're going 5th and 6th. Careful on the throttle as you go through the third part of Ascari there. Very easy to lose the back end, as we've already seen today. But we're going to have a look at Raikkonen, who's closing in on Mays on the soft tyres. And to make a one-stop work, you've got to go to around about lap 14, 15 if you're going to make it work. DRS opens for Raikkonen as he heads down the main straight in the slipstream of Mays. There's only one place he can go, down the inside. No, he thinks better of it. And again, Spike setting the fastest lap of the race on medium tyres. So that's really, really impressive pace from Spike. Raikkonen just biding his time here. He knows he's quicker. It's just picking the right moment to make that move and make that overtake. As we see here, Mays under pressure from Raikkonen now. I wonder how long this battle's going to last. Monza's not an easy place to overtake, that's for sure. As we ride on board now with Raikkonen as we head through the second Lesmo. On to Curva del Seraglio. Seraglio? Apologies for any Italian watchers, Italian viewers. I may horribly mispronounce it. Meanwhile, we've got Heimkarl here on the back of Pazels. This the battle for 8th place, and a bit of front wing debris got lost there. I'm not sure who that's from. But as we'll now ride back on board with Raikkonen here, as we're heading towards Parabolica, will Raikkonen have a move up the inside? No, he won't. He thinks better of it. He runs wide to try and get a better exit, but that opens the door for the Gort, who tries to put it down the inside. But then that's the Mays and Gort into the pit lane. So Raikkonen now takes the lead of this race. So crazy. Into the pits he goes. This then your championship leader onto the soft tyres, onto the medium tyres, sorry. Now he'll go to the end of the race on those. Steph moves up into 3rd place. And your fastest man out on track, Spike, moves into 2nd place. 5.2 behind Raikkonen, and the gap is closing. So interesting for Spike. He started at the back of the grid, and Heimkarl there has got past Plaster in the pit lane. And he'll try and chase down the Gort, who was on fresher tyres though. So that's going to be a difficult battle to try and maintain. Meanwhile, Raikkonen in the lead of this race. And it's interesting now, will he go from soft to medium or soft to super soft? He knows if he gets around 12 laps from the end, so if he pits on around about lap 15, he'll be able to take the super softs to the end. The tyres are pretty durable around here if you can get the right setup. So we're going to look here for the race leader. Meanwhile, Spike is closing the gap. He's 4.9 behind Raikkonen. So he is closing the gap on harder tyres. So this is impressive pace from Spike. Look out for him towards the end of the race. He'll be on softer tyres and he'll be setting a faster pace. Meanwhile, we're going to try and find your net race leader at the moment is the Crazy Legs. 3.3 behind Steph. And again, Spike sets the fastest lap of the race. So this is incredible pace from him. He's really pushing those tyres. But he has to remind himself that those tyres need to last him to the end of the race now, pretty much. Sorry, not to the end of the race, as far into the race as possible, because it looks like he's going to try the super soft strategy towards the end of the race. But as we've seen in the past, medium onto super soft may not work because of how many laps you actually have. If it was a 100% race, it might work. But you've only got 50%, so you've got half the time and double the wear on these tyres. So it might not work out. In the meantime, though, Spike is pushing as hard as he can. As we're riding on board with Crazy Legs, who does lock up going into Variante della Ruggia. Again, apologies to any Italian viewers. As Crazy Legs runs slightly wide, but is closing in on Steph. This then the battle for third place. The Gort closing on Mays. As this is a split strategy then. Mays opted for the soft tyres, the Gort for super softs. And this is going to be a very intriguing battle to see if Mays can stay ahead of the Gort. Now the Gort knows, in terms of strategy, this is a disaster. He needs to get past Mays, and this may be the chance he can do it. As Raikkonen pits from the lead, we'll have a look at that graphic, see what tyre he puts on, as he wants to have a look up the inside the Gort, but not this time. Crazy Legs now sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:24.4. As the Gort here, all over the back of Mays, as now he heads down the start-finish straight. He sets the fastest lap, 1:23.7, and with DRS he eases up and almost collects Raikkonen there, who was coming out of the pit lane, completely unsighted, but the Gort there makes a fantastic move, just about avoids Raikkonen there, and will take that fourth place with a great amount of satisfaction. What a move! What bravery to overtake when Raikkonen was out exited the pit lane. Incredible stuff. Now the Steph behind Crazy Legs now. So Crazy Legs has made that move for second place, and he'll now try and chase down Spike, who was 10.3 up the road. Meanwhile, Raikkonen, who was ahead of Mays, now finds him, who was behind him, still finds him behind him, but a lot closer than he was before. So let's see what he can do on those tyres. The Gort though running away. Already, he's almost out of DRS zone. So we'll have a close eye on that. As Raikkonen using all the track and a little bit more, maybe keeping two tyres on the track at least inside that white line of the track. So give credit to him there. But as we see now, we're entering lap 13, just about halfway through this race, as we see Steph come into the pits. Let's check on the graphic what tyres he decides to put on. He puts on the medium tyres. And away he goes. Very conservative race strategies today. So it's interesting to see that. Mays falling away from the Gort ever so slightly and falling now into the clutches of Raikkonen, and Raikkonen will be looking at this battle with extreme he must be licking his lips behind that lid of his, trying to size up Mays for a move. This then the battle for fourth place, as you just need to get a Scari right here and it sets you up perfectly down that straight towards Parabolica, and with DRS, can Raikkonen find a way past Mays? Into Parabolica they both go, both take a good line through there. All rear tyre onto the green there from Raikkonen. That's exactly what I was talking about. put too much on the green there, and you risk putting it into the wall. So very, very lucky there for Raikkonen, as Mays now he gets the benefit there of Raikkonen onto that green tarmac, which compromises his straight line speed just slightly. We're going to have a look at Crazy Legs, championship leader. He's behind this man, Spike, who is adorned all in green in a yellow car. I've got nothing against fashion, but yeah. Anyway, enough about that. We've got a battle to ride on board with. Here's Mays and Raikkonen. 3/10 the gap. This is your closest battle on the track, and we're going to ride on board with it, see what happens as Raikkonen now heads into the DRS zone. Difficult to make a move here because of the complexity of the next few corners, so it's best just to stay behind. Coming onto Ascari now, that left, right, left. It's important to just get that right. But as Raikkonen now into the slipstream of Mays, he's going to be looking to try and get past down the main straight, and let's see what he can do. Round Parabolica, into the slipstream, and no tyres on that green this time. So this looks like a really good opportunity for Raikkonen. If he can make the move stick into that slipstream, opens that DRS, heading towards turn 1 now. And let's have a look. Can he make the move stick? Side by side as he head into turn 1. Mace is going to give him the room, is he? He'll try and take a compromised exit. And Mays has run onto the gravel there. Lost that time. And Raikkonen takes 4th place. Mays there must be feeling absolutely gutted there. And, well, he pushed that car just a little bit too much onto the gravel there. And lost all that time. Unfortunate for him, he falls behind. But he'll be just hoping to try and stick on the back of him. Meanwhile, Heemkar, he's got to watch out for him. He's closing the gap, or thereabouts, between the two of them. So let's see how that goes towards the end. Meanwhile, the Tifosi will be cheering on Pazels, that's for sure. He's in 10th place right now. And any points that can go towards Ferrari at this point are a blessing for him. But he's now got a 3-second time penalty. Ferrari there lie in 9th place with 37 points. One more here wouldn't go amiss to try and extend their lead over Haas in that battle for 9th place in the championship. Let's have a ride on board with Heemkar as he comes into the pits. Speeding in the pit lane though, very easy to do that here at Monza, to just misjudge a braking point to get into the pit lane. But in comes Heemkar. So are these the medium tyres or are they the soft tyres going on? You never really know until they leave the box, but they are soft tyres. So Heemkar opting for a 2-stop there to try and now go to the end of the race on the soft tyres. So let's see how that goes for him. Let's see what he can do. Whereas Tractorman though, he's got, we have actually a chance to have a look at Heemkar. Yes, he does. He makes his way ahead as he locks up very slightly. And, well, Heemkar here has a battle on his hands. He's got to try and get past Tractorman. Tractorman who's been on those soft tyres for a while now. So he'll be looking, Heemkar will be looking to try and get past Tractorman as soon as possible. As we head now into Verante della Roggia. As we now head into the 2 Lesmos, as Tractorman keeps his own out there, currently in P8, but with Heemkar behind him on newer tyres, fresher tyres, he might struggle to try and keep that position. Heemkar here with the DRS open, might have a chance here, just grabbing 8th place back. Of course, the more time he spends behind Tractorman, the more his tyres are going to wear unnecessarily. So now Heemkar into the slipstream he goes of Tractorman. Will he have a look inside the up the inside of Parabolica? Probably not. He does, well, he thinks about it, but decides not to, and just to leave it for the straight. And round he goes once again. Around Parabolica into the slipstream. Tractorman here has got a lot on his plate. Let's see how he defends. Heemkar here into the slipstream of Tractorman. Will he go to the inside? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He tried the Ricardo there, or the Hamilton of many years ago going into that first corner, but thought better of it. Thought he wanted to keep his front wing. But don't take your eyes away from this battle, as these two are going to be hammer and tong for the next few laps, as Heimkarl tries to get past. Heimkarl having a look round the outside as we head into Variante della Roggia. But you can see Tractorman locked up there going into the first part of that chicane, and Heimkarl swoops past and takes that position. Tractorman's not done yet though, he will be livid at himself for that, but can he make his way past the McLaren? Doesn't get the exit he wanted out of that second Lesmo, so now it's really important now he gets Ascari right, which leads him onto Parabolica. But he's going to have a move up the inside of Ascari, puts it up the inside, runs wide, and well, I'm not sure if he gets to keep that position or not, but he is staying ahead now. He did go off the track, so Heimkarl may have a couple of questions about that. Nevertheless though, he finds himself still behind Tractorman. So Heimkarl now is going to try his way. Well, Tractorman didn't get a good exit coming out of this Parabolica there, as Heimkarl with the DRS open down the inside should be an easier move than the last time, as he finds himself side by side and will take the racing line to go down the inside. And is that rain I see? That is rain I see. Well, well, well. Well, this is going to be very interesting now, isn't it? The rain has started to fall on the Temple of Speed. So how long will it be now before that track gets too wet and too damp? And how long will these drivers push for before they're caught out? As well, Tractorman there finds himself across the curb there, yields the position to Heimkarl. This is great battling between these two, though. I will say that. As we're looking at Heimkarl now, will Tractorman get a second bite of the cherry? He looks a bit further back now. Have a look at that bottom left-hand corner, because once Racing Controls disables DRS, that's the time for intermediates. So we'll have a see and see how long it takes for the stewards to actually disable DRS. Looking at it right now, there seems to be an average amount of grip. You can see out of the Ascari there, the amount of grip there isn't anymore. But you can see Tractorman round the outside of Heimkarl. Heimkarl will hold back here, will he, for the DRS that he'll get on Tractorman now, as Tractorman runs onto the green. Careful on the throttle, he is, and he rather yields the position rather than spin up the tyres. That's a good choice, especially in my book. But who will have the DRS? It's Heimkarl. Heimkarl has the DRS, as now he finds himself pulling away from Tractorman slightly down the straight. As yeah, that's... And yeah, Tractorman's locked up. He's done a Nico Rosberg of 2016. He's locked up, has to use that makeshift chicane. And normally the game penalises you, and it does there for corner cutting. So there's literally no point in that chicane being there. He did everything right. And Pazels is the first driver to go onto the intermediate tyres. Now, I think it's slightly too early for intermediate tyres. As we see Sector 3, we've got an incident. The Gort, what's happened here? The Gort's lost it. And could that be Pazels having a fantastic decision, as the Gort here loses it again? Oh no, this is a disaster for him. With only 8 laps to go, just keep that throttle open. It's really easy to just spin up the tyres, especially when you're off the racing line. That is a disaster for the Gort. DRS has now been disabled. So now is the time for intermediates. In come Raikkonen and Pazels. Being the first driver to make that move. May's coming from the garage there for some reason. As the DRS now disabled, it's time for the Inters. What drama with 8 laps to go. These guys who've pitted for the intermediate tyres. Spike UK, where is he out on track? He finds himself just exiting the second Lesmo. Crazy Legs is pushing as hard as he can. He knows that the guys behind are in intermediates, as now the Gort finds himself in. Plaster there, in for the intermediates. It's all go in the pit lane, as now Heimkarl finds himself in the pit lane. Oh, very, very close between the Force India. The McLaren actually had to ghost there because of the way the Force India exited. That's rare to see, because normally the game would have held the Force India there. Nevertheless, though, we have it's all go here. Tractorman taking a 5-second penalty before he puts on those intermediate tyres. And now the drivers will push towards the end of the race. Whether this rain gets heavier or not is another question. Spike here making his way gingerly towards the pit lane and taking it safe. better to be safe than sorry, especially going into this pit lane. So where is Maze on track? He's going to come through Ascari any moment now. So there's Crazy. Sorry, we need to look for Raikkonen. Raikkonen now coming onto the straight between Parabolica. So Spike there, held slightly in the pit lane. This is going to be close actually. As Raikkonen now comes around Parabolica with Spike just exiting the pit lane now. I think Spike is going to hold the race lead. I think Crazy is as well. But Raikkonen finds himself closer than ever before to this battle at the front, as Spike UK and Crazy come out in front of Raikkonen. But Raikkonen now, I think the ball is in his court. His tyres have had longer to warm up and get used to the track here. He may be faster for a couple of laps. Mays there in 4th. Steph, after pit stops, is 5th. The Gort with a replaced front wing finds himself in 6th. Blaster there in 7th. Heemkarl in 8th. Hazels in 9th. And Tractorman finds himself in 10th place. With all of those penalties having to be added on for that position. Spike, though, does find himself at the front of the pack for now. And, well, he could be overtaken Darren Sinclair. He only needed 12 points to match Darren Sinclair, which is 4th place. So really a podium will see him overtake Darren Sinclair for 3rd place in the championship. As Crazy, though, is closing in and closing in quickly. As you can see there, he's so much more confident going through Ascari there, Crazy. You can see he's already in that slipstream, that dangerous slipstream you don't want to leave for any driver around Monza. As we now head into Parabolica. And, 4 tenths is the gap. And you can see here, Crazy now into the slipstream. He's got it all to do. But surely now he's going to try and find a way up the inside. Leaves it for now, though. Yep, leaves it for now. Just be careful of the lockup. As I said, be careful of the lockup. Crazy's run into the back of Spike. Well, he left his braking zone quite late there. I'm thinking that's a warning for Crazy Legs with the contact there. But what damage has that done to his front wing? We now see the Gort again into the wall in the same place. So he must have run wide and has again run out of road. And once again, it might be that heavy right foot there as he just tries to get traction on this track. Very, very slippery. Unfortunate for him, as Spike still finds himself leading the way, and he'll be hoping to try and stay ahead of Crazy as we head into the final few laps of this race. Tractorman also on the back of the Gort, who pits anyway, so we were going to ride on board, but never mind. Well, Spike now is really going to have to be careful of Crazy as we head into Parabolica once again. These two are going to be hammer and tong towards the end of the race as we'll cross the line with 6 laps to go. Cross the line with 6 laps to go. Here we go. And sorry, 5 laps to go. My apologies. 5 laps in this race, and Crazy now knows it's now or never, basically. Crazy will have a look down the inside. Spike is forced slightly off track, but can he get that position? Yes, he can. He holds on to it, and these two are going to be hammer and tong. Like I said, Crazy's going to try and find a way past Spike no matter what. And as he goes into this chicane here, as now Crazy going to have a look round the outside. Can he find the move? No, he can't. Can he? Bigger back end spinning up, but Crazy, can he find the way past Crazy? He's got the inside line for the next corner on Spike. But Spike has that outside line. This isn't over, not by a long shot. Crazy will take the lead for now as Spike will have a look. Coming down into what used to be the second DRS zone. Of course, no DRS now. This is all driver skill as we head into this difficult section. Crazy will take the inside line as now these two are hammer and tong for definite. As we head into Ascari and Spike runs wide. He's going to lose time as well as we head onto them straight here towards Parabolica. And with the spray now, we can see literally nothing as the Ferrari there of Pazels in 8th place. Will he keep out of this battle, or would he try and unlap himself? Or is that the Gort? Sorry, I think that might be the Gort. Is it a pink car? I can't see in this spray. But Spike here looking to try and get into the slipstream. Has he done it? Can he get there? Is he closing? He is closing, but I don't think it's going to be by enough. And Crazy will take the lead of this race. And, well, at the moment, he's going to try and extend this lead in the championship by a long way. It's a good battle for a couple of laps, with 4 laps to go in this race. It's not over yet, though, for Spike. He'll keep pushing and he'll keep on trying to set those fast lap times to try and stay on the back of Crazy with 4 laps to go. It's all about keeping concentration, and there, Crazy's lost the back end slightly, so has Spike. So it's really easy now to actually lose the back end simply by just trying to take it easy towards the end of the race. But as you'll see now, Spike really trying to attack those corners and just trying to stay away from the curves as much as possible. The battle for the lead then has never been closer this race than what we're seeing now. Wait, save the best till last, as now Crazy gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting that corner, and he'll get probably another warning there for that one. As we see the Gort. Oh, has he managed to hold on to the back end there? I'm not so sure he was. I think he did hold on to it just about, as we saw that. Yeah, he lost a major amount of time, but he held on to it. As now Spike tries around the outside to try and get a better line and a better exit as he heads into the slipstream now. He has got a better exit than Crazy. Will he have a look down the inside? Looks a bit too far back for my liking, but he's going to let Crazy know he's there, that's for sure. And these two are going to be battling right to the very end with 3 laps to go now. Who will come out on top? Will Crazy hang on, or will Spike find a way back past him? Don't click away from this video. We are far from over now. As Crazy pulls away on that curve. But can Spike's run wide. He's run across the curves there. But remember about the penalties. We've lost track of all the penalties here. So it's going to be a huge this is going to be huge towards the end of the race, whether to see if Crazy can actually hold on to this lead. Maybe Spike knows or thinks he has a 3-second time penalty. Maybe he's been told by his engineer that he's got the advantage. Who knows though? From the looks of it though, Spike's going to try and get him for position. As Spike here just trying to meander his way through this river now at Ascari. And he might have just lost the pace very slightly. He's out of that slipstream, and Crazy has got a slippery car on those straights. You can see that very clearly. As we round Parabolica once again, and you can see now Spike's falling away, and quickly. 2 laps to go now. The race leader Crazy Legs in the lead of the race with 2 laps to go. It is not over yet though. Both of these drivers could make a mistake. There is your championship leader meandering through the first chicane. And what's important here is that these drivers keep their cool and keep their calm. This is not over, not by a long shot. And of course these drivers are going to be really going at it. They're going to be hammer and tong, like I keep saying, towards the end of this race. This is going to be a fantastic finale. Seeing what penalty and who has what penalty. You can see the mix there from Crazy adjusted on the steering wheel. Spike those closing in, albeit gradually, as we head towards the 3rd sector for the penultimate time. As Crazy goes through Ascari then, again for the penultimate time. As Spike looks like he's just going to try and hang on. And Crazy Legs has lost it! Crazy Legs has lost it coming out of Ascari! And that has handed the win here to Spike. This is unbelievable! Crazy's lost it coming out of Ascari, has lost his front wing, and this is a disaster for the championship leader. It means Spike takes the lead on going on to the final lap of the race. Well, now all Spike has to do is keep his cool, keep his nerve now. What drama as we head on to the final lap of the race, and it's not even over yet. We've got Raikkonen now in P2 Crazy Legs in P3. He's just going to try and go to the end of the race now with no front wing. That's brave now. So who's behind him? Maze now. Can Maze catch up to Crazy Legs towards the end of this race? And for that, can Steph do it as well? Crazy Legs is going to have a hard time, especially through those high aero zones. Especially here. And, well, he's going to go for it, that's for sure. Credit to him. He's not going to give up. Spike, no. Coming around the first Lesmo. Crazy Legs has a 3-second time penalty, probably because he's got no front wing. Round the second Lesmo goes Spike UK. And what drama. Huge drama. And it's not over yet. Can Spike keep that car in check? Or can Raikkonen steal that win from him from a mistake? You'd like to think not. But of course, we saw Crazy get it wrong. As we head now into Ascari for the final time. Spike only has one more corner to negotiate, and just stay away from the green stuff, Spike. You've made it this far. From the back of the grid, he crashed out in qualifying, started 11th place on the grid. Spike UK rounds the final corner, Parabolica, and will take the win here at Italy, round 13 for Spike UK. What a drive! That was absolutely fantastic. Raikkonen there finishes in second place. And now Crazy Legs will head towards the line. He'll finish in third place with only 3 wheels. And Maze here, rounding the Parabolica for the final time. The Gort will finish in 9th place. Just a race he wants to forget, to be honest with you. As Maze there comes across the line. Good points for Mercedes as he finishes in 4th place. Steph now rounding it once more. As we head towards the line, Steph will pick up 5th place. Plaster and Heimkarl. Can Heimkarl maybe pick up an advantage from Plaster? Maybe so. We'll see Paisl's there. So Plaster now, if there's any penalties to apply, they'll be applied now. Plaster will finish in 6th. What about Heimkarl? He finishes in 7th for now. Paisl's will come across the line in 8th. But your race winner today, a remarkable drive and a remarkable performance from Spike UK from the back of the grid. Round 13 goes to Spike. Well, there's your podium. Spike UK, followed by Raikkonen, and followed by a front wingless Crazy towards the end of that race. Well-deserved wins for Spike there. Let them enjoy the champagne now. Was this race worth losing my voice for? Absolutely it was. Spike takes the race win. Raikkonen in 2nd, Crazy in 3rd, Maze in 4th, Steph in 5th, Plaster 6th. Fernando Alonso there in 7th apparently. I think that was Heimkarl. Pace was there in 8th, Gort 9th, Tractorman in 10th, and Coyle did not finish this race. What an absolutely fantastic race. I told you, don't rule it out. If there was only 11 drivers, Spike UK takes the race win from 11th place on the grid. What a fantastic, fantastic race. Well, if you thought that race was exciting, hopefully I'll be here for the next round as well. The next round is Singapore, round 14. 23 corners of, well, pure madness with the barriers very, very close. Classic street circuit race in order then. Well, my voice just about stayed in check. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Spike, what can I say? From the back of the grid, if driver of the day doesn't go to him, I don't know who it's going to go to. But yes, join us for round 14 next time around. That will be at Singapore. Darren Sinclair, by the way, has dropped to 4th place in the Drivers' Championship with Spike's win. Full championship standings will be available at the next race. Until then though, I've been Kieran McGinley, you've been watching this series. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.